Arsenal 3, Manchester United 1. Arsenal beat Manchester United for the third consecutive time at home in the Premier League, something we haven't been able to do since between 1988 and 1991. I think we can all agree, comparing this game with the one from last season, when Arsenal won 3-2 and throughout the whole 90 minutes, the tempo was at a high level, this season's game was somewhat calmer, in general. I would say that there wasn't so much intensity yesterday, and Arsenal didn't put as much pressure on United's back line as last time, as if our players came out on the pitch with too much respect for Manchester United. Apart from a brilliant solo goal from Marcus Rashford, who just keeps scoring against Arsenal, I don't think I'd be wrong to say that Manchester United have been Arsenal's weakest opposition so far in the Premier League this season. Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace and Fulham all had their chances and periods during the game when they could have done a lot of damage and we were seriously hanging and fighting for our life. Well, Manchester United came to the Emirates with the clear intention to stand behind the ball for 90 minutes with 11 players in their half and try to target Rashford with long balls, and hope for the best. Arsenal controlled this game without too much trouble, and at no point can I say that United dominated play or possession, or created several consecutive chances that would cause Arsenal's backline to panic or to start making some obvious mistakes. Honestly, I really expected something more from them. This was more like a team that was just promoted to the Premier League and they came to the Emirates to just try and hold on. And Arsenal seemed like they didn't want to go full throttle and were trying to spare them throughout the game. At least that's my impression from yesterday's game. Listen, I know we won 3-1 and United is not really the best representation to compare our quality at the moment. But I still don't think this Arsenal team has reached the level and form from last year. Not even close. What happened to our press? We used to kill teams with our press throughout the last season. We were pressing like prime Liverpool under Klopp. What happened? This season, we are so lethargic and lifeless for the most time when we are in possession. It's just not good enough. It worked against Manchester United because they are a really bad team and I would be shocked if 3 points weren't taken against them. But we could also see against Palace, Fulham and Nottingham Forest that this approach simply won't work in the long term. And if something doesn't change, we're going to have a lot of games this season where we were bound to drop points that we realistically shouldn't. I don't know if it's solely due to the coach's tactics, if the players may have entered this season more slowly, so the intensity and form will gradually rise, but I think that in that sector of the game, we definitely have to be better. Also, I read an amazing piece of information today, so listen to this. Arsenal have conceded a goal from the very first shot they faced in a game in 7 different Premier League matches in 2023, more than any other side. Do you know how crazy it is to concede a goal on 7 different occasions during the year from a first shot you faced in the game? And we are only in September. And when you add this information to that also, you realize that the situation is even worse than you think. Arsenal have conceded inside the first minute in 3 of their last 9 Premier League matches at the Emirates Stadium versus Bournemouth, Southampton and Fulham. Mind-blowing. What I mean is, we have to stop sleeping when the match starts. It's unbelievable that we concede goals from the only shots the opponent has, or that we panic straight from the kickoff and start every third match from the first minute with a goal down. And then, logically, the opponents put a double block in front of their goal, they close out the game and we spend the next hour or so trying to break through their bunker and get back into the game. It has to stop. It just has to. I don't even know who to blame for that. Manager, defenders, goalkeeper, I don't know. But it is shocking that a club that wants to fight for the very top and the biggest trophies constantly concedes goals in such a cheap way. The next thing I want to mention about yesterday's game against Manchester United is, why are we waiting so long to introduce substitutes? Okay, I can understand that last year we had a lot of problems with injuries, and in general our bench was not as good as this season's. So more or less, the same 11 were always on the field until the last 10 minutes or so of the game. But this season, you have a lot of good options on the bench, especially when you are chasing a result like you did last night against Manchester United. And you have players on the bench who can definitely make a difference and dominate on the field. And again, we wait until the 77th minute to make subs. And then you hope that they will do something in the next 10 to 15 minutes until the end of the game. Havertz definitely spent too much time on the pitch last night. And as soon as Fabio Vieira replaced him for the last 10 minutes, we could immediately see the rhythm change and the tempo of the team pick up further. And Vieira ended up playing a vital role in Arsenal's win. So I repeat, why wait so long for replacements? If Fabio Vieira and Gabriel Jesus had entered in, say, the 60th minute of the match, who knows? Maybe they could have solved the question of the winner much sooner and without any stress, instead of being thrown into the fire for the last 10 minutes, and then you hope that they will manage to create something, as was the situation against Fulham, for example. Those are some of the things that are simply not clear to me. But okay, as long as there are positive results, it would not make sense to criticize the coach and expect some drastic changes. As for Manchester United and their performance last night, I don't know what to say. Unless they change something very quickly, I think they can forget about the top 4 finish. They are simply such an average team, whose game is based and built on the performances of individuals, for whom they hope that they will solve the game on their own and bring you results week in and week out. And we all know that's never going to work. No plan, no coordinated actions, no template of play, or any clear vision of what their offensive game should be. All in all, in my opinion, a shockingly bad performance by Ten Hag's team. And as I said, I find it hard to believe that they will compete for anything more this year than fighting for a top 6 finish. And that's why I repeat once again, we shouldn't get too excited and create some narratives that Arsenal played a top game and humiliated the opponent. Because if we're going to be completely honest, neither this current Arsenal team is at 100% of its capabilities, nor is this current Manchester United team relevant for any comparisons, as they concede goals left and right, and they probably wouldn't be able to beat Luton Town at the moment without a struggle. No offense to Luton. At the end of the day, all that is written and all that matters is 3 points, and we should forget about this match as soon as possible. There is no room for any excessive euphoria and celebrations, because the season is long and there are still many games ahead of us. I think that this national team break will come in handy for Arsenal to gather their composure and put some things in order. And that's why it was so important to go to this break with 3 points in our pocket, so that Mikel Arteta and the rest of the staff can calmly and without nervousness devote themselves to this team, so we can get even better, more aggressive, and even more eager to win and score goals when most of the team returns to London in about 10 days. What's next for Arsenal? When Premier League resumes, Arsenal go away to Everton. Everton, who are desperately bad this season. And I think this could be the season when they will be relegated from the Premier League. Because if we are going to judge them based on what they have shown to us in these first 4 games, they are in a massive crisis. But let's not forget that Everton was also disastrous last season when we played against them at Goodison Park. And then, out of nowhere, they beat us 1-0 and ended our winning streak that we had. And even partly damaged the positive atmosphere that was around the club. So, no matter how bad Everton is, every game should be taken as seriously as possible and treated as if it were a final. Because we all know that there is no easy opponent in the Premier League. And if you go out on the field disinterested, you can easily lose points that you thought you had earned before the game even started. And yeah, also, if you haven't already, feel free to check out my video for Peter Drury's commentary of yesterday's game. The maestro showed once again why he's the best in the game. I will leave you a link in the comment. So Gunners, tell me, what are your thoughts on yesterday's game? And should Fabio Vieira replace Kai Havertz in the starting lineup against Everton? Write down in the comments. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button and turn on the bell, so you won't miss out on any of the upcoming videos. Thank you and see you on the next one. Cheers!